like 50, 60 years time.
Nahida, we brought a friend. Are you busy?
How's the bird again? That is
I
probably
thought
a
I
clue.
told you that it won't help to bring anyone here.
We just wanted her to.
The real Dunyarzad?
Huh?
I told you that you two are...
Hold on. Over there. Is that
Wow.
Miss Dunyarzad? She's...
Her condition's really bad.
I can sense her aura.
Do you believe us now? So, you think the sages are behind this?
Yeah, they've always been against us. Wouldn't surprise me if they're using...
You have a point. Aside from... Maybe there's more to the Akasha than we know. Right! Didn't you awaken...
The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire...
A gnosis could do that? No wonder the Akasha...
So, this Nahida, you...
She said, and Paimon quotes, "The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people."
compiles the wisdom of the entire populace and grants knowledge to the people. Wait.
The thing on top of our head.
I get the grants knowledge part. That's what people have always used the Akasha for. But compiling the entire...
Did she mean that the sages enter new knowledge into the Akasha? Oh, yeah. That sounds about right. What do you think?
Dun dun dun.
People in Sumeru don't dream. Okay, Nahida said, "The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace." My mind feels exhausted, even though I haven't done too much thinking. What is going... What's happening right now seems to have happened before. Okay, Nahida said, "The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people." That doesn't...
You mean the Akasha is causing... When the desert dwellers set off on their quest for knowledge, a sage once said, knowledge always comes at a price. Compiling the entire country's knowledge. You think the Akasha pulled a 180 and is extracting information from us? Who knows? The Akasha can put knowledge into our heads, so who's to say that it can't also poke around in there?
What's the point of doing something?
Just think about it. If you could combine the knowledge of every single person in Sumeru, then you can basically turn Sumeru City into a single massive brain. This hive mind could make breakthroughs in problems that even the smartest geniuses can't crack.
An excellent deduction. And the analogy comparing Sumeru City to a massive brain? I love it.
In that case, we should take off our Akasha terminals right away. Maybe that'll solve this problem.
Yeah, I was only wearing this for show in the first place. Didn't expect the sages to cook up such a conspiracy. Mark my words, when this is over, I'm getting evidence and exposing this whole thing to the public.
How does everyone feel? Huh? What is it? Oh, that! Paimon knows what you're talking about. It's a single soft beep that sounds like it's coming from the Akasha.
The sound of a beep. Could it be a prompt tone for when the Akasha is operating?
That's probably an important clue. We weren't using our terminals, but we heard a beep anyway.
I heard it too. Our ears aren't. We took off our Akasha terminals.
Phase runtime has exceeded its expected length. At this rate, there may be casualties.
But we cannot lose all of our progress.
We have restarted the day. Hey, it's back on our head.
Paimon remembers everything!
Good. You adapted quickly this time.
We definitely took off our Akasha terminals last night, but we still heard that beep. Why is that? But now we can at least... Oh, Paimon doesn't get...
It's extremely difficult for lab rats in an experiment to understand.
If we're lab rats, then what are you? Nahida, you've never told us anything about yourself. The moon? Wasn't that the...
Anyway, knowing who I am won't help you get closer to the truth, so you should focus on other things. Don't get distracted.
Okay then.
Ah, there you are. I've already taken care of those kidnappers. My lady, did you get hurt? What's wrong? Why are you both gawking at me like that?
You didn't get...
Huh? What do you mean this time? Why are you so surprised that I managed to get out unscathed? Those kids were amateurs. Shh! How did you know?
So Dia's lost her memories after all.
Anything strange? You already know that I got a new... It's as if I've all...
You're saying that... Oh,
That's right. Both mercenaries and war...
Traveler, what do you think? Yeah, Paimon's feeling really hopeful. Oh, you're right. Earlier in the Samsara, something like this would have never happened.
I have no clue...
So you want us to take Dunyarzad's...
How did you know what I was gonna say?
Whew, it's finally nighttime. Aside from Dia and... Listen, Nahida, we found out... Do you think the Samsara has been broken?
Really? Good job on all that.
Hey, what kind of it...
Tomorrow will come. Everyone assumes this is common knowledge, but the only way you can know that for sure is if you experience tomorrow. How many todays has it been? Is it possible that today will be followed by yesterday? Does tomorrow truly exist as anything beyond a made-up concept? It's even possible that this entire world is a lie, and the history of the whole world has just been one endless Sub-Zero's festival.
Okay, no more. Paimon's brain is already shut down.
That's why it makes no sense to waste your energy thinking about things you will learn tomorrow. Get some good rest. You know, use the bathroom and flush your anxiety dookie away. Huh? People always say they feel a sense of relief after they take a duk-duk. That's why I suggested you could try that. Is that so strange?
It's so strange and so against common sense that... Paimon's at a loss for words. You were sounding kind of... Yeah. Even though it's happy and lively at the Sub-Zero's festival every day, it feels like it's been...
Continue the harvest. Compared to what we stand to achieve, these sacrifices are trivial.
Sage.
We're still in the same day. Nahida, you already knew last night that we didn't...
Would there have been a point? You would have spent the night with new worries, with tomorrow still out of reach. In that case, you might as well rest within that brief moment of hope. An opportunity like that doesn't come by often, and I thought it might help you clear your minds.
Paimon thought that Duke did that! Whatever. Guess you were looking out for us after all.
Of course. In the time we've been together, you two have been everything to me.
Paimon's flattered and everything, but maybe you're taking things a little fast.
What I mean is, even though I had asked you to solve this puzzle, you two are still the only ones who can see me and sense my presence. In other words, if you weren't here, I may as well not exist. That's why you two have been everything to me. Get it?
Nahida's talking about confusing stuff again.
Anyway, that's enough chit-chat. So, Traveler, did the new clues yesterday help you gain a new understanding of the situation?
Huh? Why are you scrapping your previous theory? Oh, yeah! You're right! Gosh, how did we not...
So...
We've already experienced the Sabzeruz festival many times. And the day of the festival seems to be in a perpetual samsara. The moon, illusions, and lies. What do they all mean? Okay, Nahida said, the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people. Mercenaries rely heavily on muscle memory. And Dia was able to use her experiences to avoid injury in later samsara cycles. The beep is a prompt tone for Akasha operations. We still hear it every night, even though we removed our Akasha terminals. If all our memories of a day are erased at the end of that day, then we would unwittingly relive that same day again and again.
Oh! Then the beep we hear every night That's why, when we wake up, everyone thinks the Sub-Zero's festival hasn't happened. But muscle memory can't be a...
A brilliant deduction.
Nahida, tell us if we're right.
To put it simply, it's as if you've mistaken a pyro crystal fly for a firefly in the night. You lost sight of its true nature because you focused too much on your perception that it glows.
That isn't simple at all!
Why don't you go talk to Miss Dia again?
Right! She did help us find her...
Okay, I think we're breaking it out of it now.
More speed. More speed. There you are. Really took me a while to find you.
As expected, Dia also didn't get hurt today.
Get hurt? Why would I?
Well, you're still getting...
Huh. Truth be told, I also think it's pretty strange. It just suddenly felt so familiar in my hands and... wait a second! How did you know I got a new greatsword to begin with?
Traveler, could you explain the situation to her today? Paimon's gotten a lip... Oh, that works!
What happened to you guys while I was gone? Did you get brainwashed by some cult?
Don't think too hard about it. Just take what we're saying at face value.
Alright then, let me get this straight. You're telling me that my body's already gotten used to this greatsword, but my brain just doesn't remember it?
Yes, your memory's being erased every day.
Then I'd have to disagree. That's impossible.
Oh? Why do you think that?
If we've actually been reliving the Sabzeruz festival day after day, then what happened to the things we used, the money we spent, the food we ate? Common sense says my wallet should have emptied itself a long time ago. There's no way I wouldn't have noticed that.
Right! They could use the Akasha to record what everyone did that day, and then use the city's resources to replenish everything! It's not very likely, but it's also not impossible.
No, it is impossible. I've got proof.
You have proof? Where?
You two are surprisingly serious about this nonsensical discussion. Fine, I'll play along for a little longer. Come with me, Miss Dunyarzad. Please come along as well. I still can't guarantee that this area is safe.
Paimon can't believe it's Dia who wants to show us something this time. 2 days ago, we were the ones...
This is it.
Huh? This is a...
See those marks on the dummy? Those are the result of several days' worth of practice. Let's say the sages didn't replace it every day. Shouldn't it be hacked to pieces by now?
That's true, but what if they did?
Then the sages would have had to reproduce every mark I left during previous training sessions. I'm a professional fighter. My martial school has always emphasized the importance of refined control. The force, angle, and entry point of each strike is calculated and deliberate. That's why I remember every mark on the dummy, as well as my state of mind as I made each strike. It's just as they say. Each swordsman has their own unique style, and even the same swordsman can't make the same cut twice. It would be impossible to copy these marks.
Is it really impossible?
People often say that a camera's photo can never replace an artist's painting because the former has no spirit to it. The same thing applies here. At a mere glance, I can differentiate carved marks from the results of combat training. Whew, I hope that cleared things up for you. Hey, is this that new... Anyway, it's getting late. I should escort Miss Dunyarzad to Nilu's stage. See you later.
Well, back to... But at least we've reached some... Yep, that's true. So... strange? Paimon feels like... Huh? Leaving the city? You're right! It's really... Paimon can't believe it! Did we... How about we go back and ask Nahida?
More speed. More speed.
You're back early today.
Sort of. We're mostly sure now that we're not in a time loop. And we also aren't in the real world. But at the same time, we have a new question.
Leaving the city. As far as I...
We did? But we don't...
Let me think. I don't think you ever actually told me what the outcome was. But you two sometimes stay out the entire night anyway.
It is true that sometimes we...
Really? That's kinda strange. In theory,
Yep. Something here's definitely fishy. Let's get to the bottom of this tomorrow.
No words.
Memories are back! About that...
Traveler, aside from your memories that were just restored, I have another message. Listen to it and you'll understand.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sabzeruz festival in Sumeru City is just one of them.
Traveler, you should be missing 2 days. It's time to carry out our plan from yesterday. Okay, let's...
We don't have many more
At least good luck doesn't discriminate by clan.
Okay, I didn't mean to grab that. Whatever.
Why can't we leave the city? What is the
Don't ask me. It's not like I can tell you anything. This is a direct order from the Grand...
I have a real emergency.
That's your problem.
But it's not like you can just predict business matters in advance.
It looks like the Academia already announced a lot. Let's go and Hello, sir. What?
Here we go again. We just received an order that no one is allowed to enter or exit Sumeru today. Angering.
It looks like he really doesn't know. If we can't get anything, this is a good spot. And the guard hasn't know. Huh? Why? Are you going to... What? Oh, Paimon knows that Paimon... Okay. Promise Paimon that you'll come back and please... Memories! Traveler! Paimon, when Paimon waited for you for hours and hours at the city wall and you never came back! You promised Paimon...
Paimon, calm down.
Paimon doesn't care! Paimon wanted to go look for you, but you also said that Paimon should stay! Paimon was so worried and so scared the entire day!
Okay, Paimon, can you... I see. Using two people's different...
After that, you left the city. Paimon kept her eyes on you the whole time, but then you... disappeared, and it... No way! Paimon was watching you with the fullest attention!
What's your perspective, Traveler? You sure you'd... I guess that explains everything. You also lost your memories the last 2 times you tried...
So, if we leave the city, our memories will... It really sounds like something big outside, but this way, we'll also never discover what's outside! Something like... a message? But...
Don't look at me like that. I'm not used to being stared at. Well...
Yep! No!
I'm done. Here you go.
What? Isn't this just an Akasha?
I made some little changes. Akasha terminals are already...
To make something like this? Nahida.
Yep. I'll help you save the messages. It should be pretty easy to use. I just can't guarantee the user's status and signal coverage when they're outside the city.
We'll never know until we try. At least we're taking the initiative now. Let's go then. Let's expose those sages. All right. Paimon, okay. That covers everything that's happened so far.
Yes. Although the signal was choppy and had some interference, we still managed to receive 2 messages from you when you were outside.
Okay, now that you understand what's going on, let's hear the messages together.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sub-Zero's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them. I've entered another space. Before me are flowing sandstone and howling fish. Impossible and surreal sights. All these spaces are empty, except for the occasional ones that contain mute puppets rather than people. I can't sense any human presence.
The bubble! Captain Bubbles.
That's one heck of an info dump. It sounds like you left this, but everything looked completely normal when Paimon was looking out from the inside. That's unbelievable.
There's another part here. I only received it last night.
These spaces have been disappearing, one after the other, absorbed by something like a sun in the sky. And now, even the final space has also disappeared. Behind me, a lot of spaces just appeared again from thin air. I get it now. Those spaces are actually...
Dreams.
Why did the message end right there? What did the traveler want to...
Probably because yesterday just happened to end at that moment.
Oh, right. Paimon did hear a beep from
The message. It should have come from the travel...
after the beep. Traveler said...
Traveler. What do you think that final space could have...
All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common. A lack of human presence. Was that space actually the real world? But wouldn't a real space just randomly disappearing like that be catastrophic? My impression is that each day in this samsara only ends at the sound of that beep from the Akasha. That doesn't...
Oh, so that's what it is! After the sound of the beep, later on, Traveler also mentioned a bunch of new spaces materializing behind them. Dude, Paimon's head is spinning!
Well, consider this. For all the horrors of the Archon War, at its heart, it was just a game where a bunch of gods fought over 7 seats. So no matter how strange or spooky things may look on the surface, maybe all they point to in the end is a small and simple secret.
Wow, the Archon War, huh? Hey!
You have a bench in here?
More speed.
Do you want some alone time to think? Alright then, Paimon won't disturb you.
The dance of Sub-Zeros is about to begin. I'm going to go watch it.
Okay.
Okay then. See you later.
Have you figured it out yet, Traveler? Time is awesome! What is it? Paimon wants to know! Oh.
More speed.
You're back! I've been waiting for... Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam and graduate? Okay.
Okay, Nahida said, the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people. We've already experienced the Sabzeruz festival many times, and the day of the festival seems to be in a perpetual samsara. All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common: a lack of human presence. People in Sumeru don't dream. What a strange phenomenon. The moon, illusions, and lies. What do they all mean? Those spaces remind me of dreams, like the one I had in the Avidia forest. Except these have no sign of human presence. We are all in a dream. It isn't that the people of Sumeru don't dream. Rather, the Akasha is taking their dreams from them.
People in Sumeru think they don't dream, but the truth is the Akasha steals their dreams without them knowing it. And those spaces with no human presence are stolen dreams without their host. That would explain why they sounded so weird when she was trying to describe. Huh. So people in Sumeru do dream after all.
Correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha is capable of this? The Akasha relies on the power. It is the manifestation of. It compiles the wisdom of the. And it grants knowledge to the.
What was I trying to do? Okay.
That doesn't...
Oh, okay. Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest also get their power from the dead. But is stealing everyone's dreams really how...
Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active when they're dreaming. In other words, dreams are rich bundles of human wisdom.
So in other words, the complete opposite of how Hypatia understood it. Paimon remembers her saying that the sages think dreams are foolish delusions. The real story is that the sages from the academia are using the Akasha to steal people's dreams for their own use, huh?
Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the Samsara?
The beep is a prompt tone for Akasha operations. We still hear it every night, even though we removed our Akasha terminals. Those spaces kept disappearing before my eyes. But as soon as that beep sounded, many more spaces materialized. We've already experienced the Sabzeruz festival many times. And the day of the festival seems to be in a perpetual samsara. My mind feels exhausted, even though I haven't done too much thinking. What is going on? The Grand Sage said, go celebrate the birth of that god to your heart's content. Did he mean something more? Those dreamscapes kept vanishing.
Correct. The Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but also separating their consciousness from their own dream. Their disembodied consciousness is placed inside the collective dream of the Sabzeruz festival along with everyone else's, while their now vacant dreams are harvested by the Akasha. No one is any the wiser as another day passes in the dream, and so begins another samsara cycle. People wake up to yet another dream about the Sabzeruz festival. The dreams that belong to them are once again harvested by the Akasha, and so it continues.
So, this is like a dream factory, and the Akasha is a dream harvesting machine. Did Paimon get that analogy right?
Very good, Paimon. Using analogies well is an excellent habit to get into.
Okay, so that beep we keep hearing is actually from our real-life Akasha terminals. Taking off our terminals in this dream doesn't do anything.
Alright, last question. Who am I?
They say that alchemical divination is the Dendro Archon's divine revelation. So then, if Nahida has referred to herself as the moon... Now that I think about it, wasn't illusions a hint that we're all dreaming? Now that I think about it...
So you noticed. I thought that one would be the hardest question. That's why I put it last.
That wasn't hard at all. Even Paimon guessed that. Everything about you is different. We just didn't want to expose you is all. Now that you mention it, Nahida, you've been hinting to us since the very beginning. It's funny. Thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Paimon didn't expect to meet you.
Yes, those can wait until we're back in real life. On the other hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have about here and now. You asked me this question before. My answer was, it would literally blow your minds. Now that you know this is all a dream, this answer should hopefully make more sense. Have you heard the saying, don't wake a sleepwalker? Likewise, if someone suddenly had told you all this instead of you learning it on your own, your notion of reality and dream would be thrown into irreversible confusion. I couldn't expose you to that kind of risk. That's why I could only give you very subtle hints and some suggestions. Long story short, I'm really sorry I had to keep you guessing. Firstly, this dream we're in is completely based on reality. People have already experienced this Sabzeruz festival, so it would be very difficult for them to find anything that strikes them as surreal. Secondly, you're probably wondering why people don't have any memories from earlier Samsara. That's because people don't remember their dreams most of the time anyway. And in any case, their actual dreams are being taken away from them by the Akasha. So whenever they wake up in this dream of the Sabzeruz festival, they don't remember anything from their previous identical dream.
That reminds Paimon. Traveler had a dream when we were in the Avidia forest, but couldn't see what it was about after waking up. Is that an example of what you mean?
Yes. Only after receiving the blessing of Dendro can a person gain the Dendro element's dream-enhancing power. That explains the feelings of deja vu. Meanwhile, everyone else has no idea that they are in the Sabzeruz Festival Samsara, while their dreams are stolen from them over and over again.
Can humans really keep dreaming forever like this? Will it ever end? And if so, when?
You might say your mental fatigue has already answered this question. Eventually, there's only so much that people can tolerate. Especially those whose health is compromised to begin with, like Dunyarzad. This relentless exploitation takes an even harder toll on them.
People's lives are at stake here, and nobody knows a thing!
Oh,
We've gotta put a stop to
I got
this.
another solution. Theory. I don't know if they're gonna say it.
I know, right? Why did they have to base this dream on my birthday? Could it really just be a coincidence?
Even you don't know the reason? Wow. Now that's
Salazar.
strange.
The Academia sages are determined to harvest lots of dreams in a short time, no matter the cost. They have to be up to no good. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about it. Traveler, do you have any information?
Those spaces remind me of... dreams. Like the one I had in the Avidia forest. Except, these have no sign of human presence. Okay, Nahida said, the Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate, as it is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace, and it grants knowledge to the people. Grand Sage said, go celebrate the birth of that god to your heart's content. Did he mean something more?
Celebrate the birth of that god? Could it mean... I know, right?
Why did they— Even you don't know the reason?
The Academia Traveler. Do you... Celebrate the birth of... Could it... Deceiving the people of Samsara with no regard for their safety. No matter what they're trying to do, this is unforgivable. After we end the Samsara's festival, Samsara, we have to look into them.
How can the sages of the Academia do this behind their Archon's back? This is ridiculous!
In the end, I'm just the moon. The real sun is long gone.
A sun and a moon?
Greater and lesser
Nahita's
knowledge.
talking in riddle. Oh, we're at—
I'll tell you how to break free of the Samsara tomorrow.
Ugh.
Good morning, Nahita. Wait. Now that Paimon remembers everything... Hey! What's wrong, Nahita? You don't...
I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct.
Did Dunyarzad already
The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. It can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting.
Paimon can't believe it. Wait,
She's actually something like a puppet, but not the real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer... So another Dunyarzad appeared to replace her in the dream.
but personality-wise, she's...
Puppets are stiff, and can't copy a living... You know, speaking of which, the old...
Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her conscious...
Yes. Back then, her family was overly protective of her. No one cared about her personality or thoughts. It was as if she only lived to stall her Elazar. I just gave her a little wisdom so she could look at life in a new way. So that she could be her own person. But even so, she's still far from it. I'm still a long way off from being a real Archon. I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon, I wouldn't have let my most faithful follower die at the Samsara's festival with so many regrets.
Please don't beat yourself up over it, Nahita. It's the sage's fault, and theirs alone.
I'm not beating...
Don't be like that, Nahita. Even real Archons are still allowed to be sad.
To prevent more tragedies like this, we must end the Samsara as soon as possible.
Great, but how do we do that?
Although the Samsara's festival dream is under the Akasha's control, only humans can dream. Even the Akasha is unable to create them. That means this dream belongs to a host who created it.
Huh? So, how should we find that person?
Well, if this is someone's dream, then everything here must come from deep within their consciousness, which means, with the power of imagination, they can change any...
Imagination?
Imagination means breaking, like when the server at a tavern brings a plate to you. However, if you're the dream's host, the dream will respond in kind. And the server really would. But right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter how many times, find some way to make that person realize that they're...
How are we going to find them, though? And even if we did find them, how are we supposed to... After all, like you said...
It's extremely difficult, yes. But as for me...
Out of town? Are you going to that...
Yes. I want... Hurry and go. Dreams are supposed to be fantastical, romantic...
She was such a good person. Yeah.
I felt it was a
Saving
surgery.
Dunyarzad is what kept us going. But we mustn't lose hope, Traveler. Paimon's wondering, do you think the sages would get one of their own to be the host of this stream? Feels like it would be easy. Huh. That's true. So, who do you think the host of the dream is? Oh, that would make sense. Let's go ask him some...
More speed. More speed.
You're back. You left in a hurry last time.
Everything's fine.
An experiment?
Could you make a wish?
You want me to make a wish?
Less questions, Mark!
Okay, my wish. My wish.
Oh.
I noticed earlier that she just doesn't I've also wondered if the...
So, you...
When she placed the hat of the Knight of Flowers onto my head, what she didn't realize was that I'm not that interested in how everyone else feels. In that moment, I just wanted to be her Knight of Flowers for the rest of my life. Okay, yeah, that was a bit much. Okay, I'm ready to make my wish. I would like Miss Dunyarzad to appear in front of me right now with a smile on her face. Here goes.
Please come true.
I'm gonna open my eyes. Oh!
What?
Fucky? Sorry, but... nice try, you two.
Guess he isn't the host of this dream after all. Should have expected it wouldn't be this easy.
Is it Dahlia? We were able to break her out. Somewhat.
It seems like everyone who...
My lady.
That sounds like Dia! Oh... Huh? But Dia can handle them! Hey, Traveler!
Oh, it's you. Great timing. Please take... Hey, this is my job. The homie Yannis pay me, not you. You... Fuck. Anyway, watch yourself.
Oh, we would fight these guys a
So
lot
you
earlier
got
than
yourself
this.
some backup.
New punching.
Solidify!
There is no escape. Huh? Yeah. Huh. Sir. Beg for mercy. Huh? Yeah. Huh. Huh. Rah.
I'll be back.
Traveler, were you just taking your anger out on those guys? You and Nahida both. Didn't you? Oh, and remember how during the first Sub-Zero's festival, before the she said it was because she had forgotten something. Okay, so Paimon's memory is working so far. Anyway, Paimon also remembers that she is staying. Yeah, even. This is the place. Hey, the windows are unlocked. Okay, Paimon's gonna take a peek inside. This was only a temporary residence, so there was pretty much no— Should we open?
After 16 days, finally able to get these notes written before this hotel. You and Paimon will probably continue your journey immediately, so I was hoping that you give you this before that. This compilation of folk legends concerning Blessed Lord, creators, serious communities conducted a session. Wrote down, recruiting people will note her. Useful here. Darsville's water supply was once contaminated, forcing everyone to go out very far to get water, but one day people suddenly found the water was drinkable again. Instead, a green light was seen near the water source the previous night. Everyone believes the divine power of the Blessed Lord. Sounds quite possible to decontaminate a water source. You have natural means probably take stages. Do that herself. After Mama passed away, I was super afraid of the dark, couldn't sleep. I fell I heard a voice that chat with me until I fell asleep nicely. He told me that Lord Kusanali must have been watching over me. Poor child, I hope this bears happier, similar to something I experienced back then. He is a gentle god. Sometime I had a wee bit too much to drink and finally come to save my life. Then I turned a corner and could swore I saw Lesser Lord Kusanagi. She was very tall, big muscular arms. She caught me, slipped and fell. Next morning I found myself under a tree. I reckon that must have been her looking after me. Sure what that one has as much value, but probably just a tree.
Wow. Even though she was also busy, she must have wanted to. If we hadn't found this, but now that we know, we. Hey! Where are you off to? It's Dunyarzad's puppet. Traveler? You must be exhausted. Come to think of it, we've been stuck in this place for a really, really long time. Heck, even the last time we were chatting happily with Dunyarzad feels like an eternity ago. Paimon still remembers when we were sitting here, and the way her eyes sparkled when she...
There will always be frustrations in life, but I know that the point of living is not to leave behind any regrets.
That was what the real Dunyarzad said, wasn't it? Does that mean...
Yes, Traveler. What is it?
Oh, so she's still just a puppet. But just what? Where are we going this time?
More speed.
This has a lot deeper meaning than I was thinking the time.
If you continue to resist, we will have to order an investigation into every single event organizer. The Grand Sage has already granted you much leniency. I advise that you exercise tact.
How did things turn out like this? Traveler?
Traveler?
Traveler? What the heck? Wait, they're not reacting. Have they been scared stiff? Oh, of course. So they're just...
What is this? What happened to the Grand Sage and his entourage?
Yes. The Greater Lord brought forth new Padhisaras in memory.
That beautiful shade of purple. Aren't these flowers real Padhisaras? Just like the ones from the legend? I didn't even notice. Dunyarzad, Did you find these?
But didn't you just say all the real flowers went extinct after the goddess of flowers passed away? So,
Yeah. What's going on here? Huh? You guys are Hey!
They disappeared! So Nilu's the host! What a surprise! Purple body Saras don't exist in the real world anymore! But in Nilu's subconscious, they can... It's just like the example Nahida told us. People assume there will be... So when you saw the flowers, you instantly knew it was Nilu? But if we want to end the Samsara, we need the... How should we make Nilu...
Am I dreaming?
Huh?
She come to that conclusion.
So I'm right.
Wrong guess, but you aren't completely wrong either. The point is, what made you think this is a dream? As far as you know, people in Sumeru don't dream.
Yeah, but have you heard the tale of the first sage? To prevent a calamity, he went on a journey to find the Dendro Archon.
Ooh, sounds familiar. Dunyarzad told us a story.
Yep, but in the part you heard, he hadn't become the first sage yet. His piety and wisdom were acknowledged by the Dendro Archon, and she finally gave her blessing to him. All kinds of spectacular scenes appeared in front of the first sage, as if all the knowledge in the world was being painted onto a canvas right before him. He was captivated. After who knows how long, he mastered all the knowledge he could comprehend. Afterward, he said to the Dendro Archon, "I miss my parents, my wife, and my children. I've been away from home for far too long. They must be worried." The Dendro Archon smiled. The next second, the sage found himself lying in his bed, as if he had just woken up from a dream. His wife, lying next to him, said, "You're off to search for the Dendro Archon today, aren't you? Have a safe journey, my love." In the end, the first sage took care of many disasters in Sumeru City, and founded the Academia. What a happy ending.
So, the first sage was dreaming ever since the beginning of the story? He never went on his journey?
Yes. But his faith and determination were conveyed to the Dendro Archon, so she blessed him in the form of a dream.
Paimon understands where you're coming from now. That's
I see. Well, it just so happens that today's Sub-Zero's festival is almost over too. Since we're in a dream, let's make this final dance of Sub-Zero's as beautiful as we can. The wait is over, everyone. I dedicate this to our god, the Dance of Sub-Zeros.
I'd be lying if I said I had no regrets. I would have loved to see Nilu's dance.
Traveler. Oh, Paimon feels like she's been asleep for the longest time. Paimon's head feels super heavy. Did we oversleep? Do you even remember going to sleep last night? Paimon thinks it was after the Sub-Zero's festival. The Sub-Zero's festival? Have we finally escaped from the Sub-Zero Samsara? Quick! Take off your Akasha terminal! She's not in her room. What happened? Huh? What?
Well done, Traveler and Paimon.
Catherine?
And thank you, Dunerzad, for organizing the Sub-Zero's
I'm sorry, who?
Dunerzad! You're okay!
Oh, Traveler Paimon. I have something amazing to tell you. I just had a dream, and I saw Nilou performing the dance of Sub-Zeros.
You're actually Nahida, aren't you? And
It's a really long story. We shouldn't disturb her. Her consciousness is still weakened. Let's chat somewhere else.
The traveler's favorite bench? A few times.
More speed.
Oh. Wrong thing.
let's talk about Dunerzad first. It's such a relief that she's alright.
After we parted on the last day of the Sub-Zero's festival, I left the city and saw what the Traveler had described. Among the countless dreams, I found one that was growing fainter and fainter. This proved my suspicion. Once Dunerzad could no longer bear the Akasha harvesting her dreams, her consciousness began to dissipate. But this also meant it escaped the Akasha's control. Such a small fragment of consciousness can't last for very long, though. It will return to its original dream, where both will gradually fade. I used all the power I had to keep her dying dream alive as long as possible. But it still wouldn't have lasted for much longer if it hadn't been for you two breaking the Samsara.
So it looks like we did manage to save Dunerzad in the end. Not a moment too soon.
Huh? Why are you two smiling so happily? I thought you'd be so moved that you'd start crying. I need to spend more time observing human emotions.
Both are fine. Everyone reacts differently.
All right. You two must have a lot of other questions for me, right? After all, you saved my faithful believer. As your reward, I will answer any and all questions.
Oh, get rid of that. Get rid of that.
At the Avidia Forest, noticed there was this incense that made the traveler fall unconscious and dream of a huge tree and a red sky.
You also heard someone's voice, right? It said world and forget me.
Yeah, so you do know. We've been wanting to ask you what that was about, and if the red sky was related to Conria.
It seems like the traveler established a connection to Irminsul. That was a message left by Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul. Perhaps her last memory before she died. As you two probably know, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared after the disaster in Conria. The timings of these events do line up, so your suspicions are reasonable.
A message from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata? We thought it was from the Scarlet King.
The Scarlet King? That god who died even longer ago? Some present-day desert dwellers still worship him. You probably just heard some of their conspiracies.
Okay, so what does the message mean?
I still haven't managed to decipher it. Even the Akasha isn't currently capable of doing that. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata's residual consciousness in Irminsul seems to be contaminated with something that has a very dangerous aura to it. Many devoted scholars go mad as soon as they connect their consciousness. I've warned the Academia about this many times, but people still keep falling victim to it. But I believe this is the key to saving Irminsul. That's why I've kept trying to decipher it.
So the tree in the vision was Irminsul? Oh, Tainari also said that Irminsul is sick! Is it because of the contaminated consciousness? But even if you can't figure out what that vision was all about, it seems like our search for you was all in vain.
The Traveler wasn't affected after coming in contact with that consciousness. I've never seen anyone like that. With you here, we may have a chance at deciphering it. No, we must decipher its secrets. I've already eliminated all other factors that might affect Irminsul. This is the only one left. This puzzle has life and death at stake. It could determine Irminsul's fate, as well as Tevat's.
Okay, so originally I thought it was Lesser Lord saying that. But Lesser Lord is telling us it is Greater Lord saying that. So I think it's actually saying, "World, please forget me. I made a grave mistake," or something like that, blah 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 blah. She's trying to remove herself from the equation. That was the entire thing. She knew what was going to happen in Academia here. These guys were going to be idiots and try to maintain her.
To be accurate, I'm using the Akasha as a medium to occupy Catherine's consciousness.
How did you do that? Poor Catherine.
Theoretically, I can enter anyone's mind as long as they're wearing their Akasha terminal. The Akasha is the legacy of Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. As Lesser Lord Kusanali and the first Akasha terminal, my consciousness has always been linked to the Akasha. I've always respected my people's free will, so I've never actually occupied their consciousness. When necessary, I just borrow this bionic Snezhnayan puppet.
Hold on. Did we just learn some deep, dark secret? So Catherine is... No wonder Paimon felt something was off about her. What about your own body? Why do you need to borrow other people's? Don't you live in the sanctuary of Surasthana?
That story begins a long time ago. After Greater Lord Rukkhadevata disappeared, the sages found my newly born self and took me back to Sumeru. At that time, I was young and weak. The sages kept me in the sanctuary of Surasthana, ostensibly for the sake of protecting me. But I've hardly heard from them since. However, I do understand that they had hoped to find Greater Lord Rukkhadevata instead of me, a symbol of her passing.
So, the sages basically put their new Archon under house arrest? How dare they! Why don't you teach them a lesson, Nahida?
In some ways, they aren't wrong. Greater Lord Rukkhadevata was omniscient and omnipotent. Even after her death, the Akasha is still empowering this nation, and I'm still really far away from being able to call myself the God of Wisdom. Moreover, the Academia is also more proficient at governing this country. My existence has little meaning.
Yeah, you got a lot of believers. Just look at the Sub-Zero's festival. Everyone who showed up truly loves you.
Thank you for the kind words. But I honestly don't need physical freedom as long as I can connect my consciousness to the Akasha. Trying to find a way to save Irminsul is my life's mission and top priority. I will work on that, and try to live up to being a deity in the meantime. Every once in a while, I will also take up the duties of the God of Wisdom and enlighten a lost soul here and there. Doing all that should be enough. There's never been any big problems with the Academia's governance of Sumeru. This is the first time I've seen them step out of line. I wonder what caused them to go down this path, and what they hope to achieve. Even though the city's residents haven't noticed anything strange, if the Traveler hadn't broken the Sub-Zero's Samsara, the situation could have become dire. I tried to do some investigating in the Akasha, but I couldn't find anything suspicious. And all the people of interest seem to purposely avoid wearing their Akasha terminals. I think they're deliberately trying to hide something.
Oh, that reminds Paimon. In Gandharvaville, there was a sage who had invited Kynarite to join some kind of project. Could it be related?
Regardless, I need to first investigate the sage's motives, make things right, and punish them if needed. But I'll have to be discreet, or they'll see me coming. You mean how the Akasha stops you from having dreams?
Yeah, it's been such a long time. No one's noticed something's up?
It's not that no one noticed. It's more like no one cared. Ultimately, it's all rooted in the sage's misdirection.
Misdirection?
The sage has convinced everyone to believe that being unable to dream is a sign of rationality and wisdom. Not dreaming is a badge of honor in Sumeru, even if the truth is that their dreams are being reaped by the Akasha. With their propaganda in place, the sages can maximize their use of the Akasha to facilitate their research. Besides, Greater Lord Rukkhadevata must have created the Akasha in the hopes that it could be used to its full potential. That's why I've never come out strongly against the... Anyway, the perspective advocated by the sages drowned out any voices of doubt. By now, even those who never use Akasha terminals find it too shameful and embarrassing to talk about their dreams. Got it! I hope my answers were satisfactory, seekers of knowledge. To be honest, maintaining Dunyarzad's fading dream took a lot of mental energy. I think I may need to rest for a while. Oh, and you don't need to worry too much about the sage's activities for now. The Akasha won't be able to conduct another project on the scale of the Sub-Zero's Samsara in the immediate future.
Go and get some sleep. Leave everything to us.
What a relief. This is truly the most exhausting birthday I've ever had.
Traveler? Paimon? Why am I here? Do either of you know?
Maybe you were sleepwalking. You know you can't wake up a sleepwalker. We happened to walk by, so we thought we'd wait for you to wake up.
I see. Huh. I should visit my maintenance personnel sometime. Oh, I'm fine. I better go. Thank you.
Okay. All right.
You want to learn some Livonia's blade?
Sleep. 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 Sleep.
Work? All right then, I'll teach you. Oh yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
That's what I've been looking for. Let's talk to you. Okay.
What are you talking about?
Doesn't matter too much to me. Ooh. You are? Recruitment. I got chicken, butter chicken, yeah. Reputation 2? Oh my god.